Well, hello there. How is everyone? I hope you're all well on this terrific Tuesday. And I'm hoping it's going to be terrific. I'm hoping it is, but we can always kind of expect someone to come along and ruin it. But for now, it's terrific, and you're looking absolutely terrific, by the way. And for this one, we're going to get straight into the meat and potatoes because you're going to have to strap yourselves in. And first of all, I want to thank Joshua. Now, Joshua is someone who approached me. He came to me and told me, I've watched your channel for a while, and I've been, I don't know, balls deep in the Idaho 4 case like it's crack for some time. I'm paraphrasing, but you can understand what I'm saying. He's rarely following this case like the vast majority of us. But where Joshua differs from some of us is he suffers from insomnia, can't sleep, gets about 2 to 4 hours of sleep a night. So you can imagine someone who is interested in a case, can't sleep, stuff comes out, and it's reported that there is an arrest in the Idaho 4 case, even just scrolling through, and things come up, reports come up, you're going through them. So early days, do you know what I mean? You're doing it, you're on it, in there like swimwear. Now, he would come across some information that he's seen, he screenshotted, and he sent it to me. I've subsequently looked into it and understood that there are remnants of it, but the vast majority of it has been scrubbed. And what am I talking about, I hear you say? And what I'm talking about is something that gives some weight to potentially why Bryan Kohberger could have, and I know that there's speech and things out there saying that this was rubbish, it wasn't said, but Bryan Kohberger had apparently asked if someone else had been arrested. And also, two other things, and that is that initially law enforcement were looking for a car that didn't seem to match what Bryan Kohberger has, in the fact that they were looking for a 2011 to 13, and that was quickly adapted, and it seems it was adapted when Bryan Kohberger's car was found. Anyway, also, we have been sort of on the peripheral wondering whether there could be, I don't know, an informant of some description, or someone pointed in the direction, or perhaps even I don't know, someone else who was involved in the background. Adds a little bit of weight to that. But I need to say something else first. Well, before I bring into the video what I'm actually talking about and getting on with it, and there's a reason why I'm leading up to it like this. I want to make the video longer because I can put ads in it, and ads make money. I like money. Just being honest. But no, there is a point to it. There is a point to it. I digress. Now, the point to it is this. The point is that everybody around this crime is innocent of any wrongdoing until they're proven otherwise. Everybody, including and not exclusively Bryan Kohberger. He has not been accused of... He's been accused, but he hasn't been found guilty of anything. And the same when we side-eye and cast doubt over the likes of Dylan Mortensen, Bethany Funk and co. We can question their actions because their actions are strange. They're fucking weird. And I would question my own kids in that exact same situation. But they've not been proven to have done anything. But recently there was a Bondi shooting. There was an attack. And what happened is someone got wrongfully accused of being involved in that. And there is a purpose for me showing you this. So I'm going to show you this here. Let me just swap that screen over to here. So this is about Ben Cohen. This was about online trials on Saturday night wrongfully identified 20-year-old UTS student Ben Cohen as the attacker, posting photos of him across social media. The name Benjamin Cohen began trending on X, formerly known as Twitter, on Saturday night with 50,000 posts now made about the name. I believe it was Channel 7 got hold of it as well and helped push that out. But basically, this guy had nothing to do with it. Obviously, the guy, Corchi, was eventually named as the person who was involved in that. So what am I getting at? What I'm getting at is that very, very early on, when there was an arrest being noted as happening in the Idaho 4 case, Bryan Kohberger's name wasn't the only name that came out. perhaps not even the first name. Now, what I would say is, if you're somebody who this is not you, this absolutely isn't you, and you've got nothing to do with it, then would you not come out and say, hold on a second, like Ben did, and say, hold on, this ain't nothing to do with me. I ain't done anything. And again, before we go into this, I'd like to say this person has not been proved of doing anything, but I'm bringing it to people's attention because of the anomalies surrounding the Idaho 4 case. The fact that we felt like perhaps someone had pointed the finger at Brian Koberger. The fact that Brian Koberger, it was noted, may have asked whether someone else had been arrested. Suspect Vehicle 1. James Fry stating that there was occupants in the white Hyundai Elantra, again alluding to the fact that they were looking for more than one individual. So it's always been a question in the back of our minds. There's also always been a question that the Idaho 4 crime itself couldn't have possibly be done, could it? By just one person, unless they had the, I don't know, military skill and prowess to enter a home and do this heinous act in such a short period of time. But anyway, let's get on with it. And we are going to look at this. So this is the name. So I was given this name, and it was Robert Kinnison. Now, other people may have picked up on this. I don't know. This is the first I'm seeing it, and that's why we're talking about it. But you're going to come down to here, Time Bomb 2000. Now, the date here, 14th of November, I find odd, but I would imagine that this date is not referencing the date of the news, which says, breaking news, a man named Robert Kinnison was arrested today in the Pocono Mountains in connection to the Idaho College murders. We will get to that in a second. But I imagine the date here is not relevant to when the news come out. It's just relevant to when the thread began. So it's just that thread that started on that date, and this is an update within that thread. I know that will throw some confusion in the mix, the fact that that literally says like there was an arrest made the day after, and I don't believe that's the case. So if we come over to here, and I'm going to show you some other images as well in a bit, but when you try and search this guy, like, don't get me wrong, the name seems to be connected to multiple things, but I'm not an internet sleuth. Some other people with much more skill than what I can may be able to find more than what I can and likely will. But I have found connections of the Kinnison name being connected to not only drug trafficking, arms trafficking, and things like that. I'm not saying this guy is connected, but the name Kinnison is certainly one that is, connected to that sort of stuff. And when you find pictures, which again is in the thumbnail, and I'll show you in a second, the guy Kinnison supposedly standing there holding weapons, yeah, it's one of those. But this thread that was set up, it just goes through some other information. I'm not going to read too in depth into that. Some other stuff. They were just following the situation as it went on. And again, this could have been completely made in error. Again, like the situation with the Bondi attack. But this is where we start coming into this. So breaking news, and it talks about a man in his mid-20s arrested by police at 3 a.m. in Scranton, Pennsylvania. We're going to come down here. And this KYTX breaking. A 25-year-old man was arrested today in the Pocono Mountains in connection with the murders of 4 students at the University of Idaho. You do go down to read where it comes down here, and it actually says officials in Moscow, Idaho say a 28-year-old man was arrested today, but I don't know whether that was an after edit, because when you look into it, these no longer exist. We carry on, and we've got other reports. Let me just come down here, where we've got breaking news. A man named Robert Kinnison was arrested today in the Pocono Mountains in connection with the Idaho College murder. And it actually says law enforcement sources tell reporter Nick Boyer. So was Nick Boyer actually given the name Robert Kinnison? But again, it's very difficult to follow what was happening because a lot of this information has completely been scrubbed. Now, I will show you some screenshots on the screen of things that I was able to find, things that I was able to pull up. But like I say, my question remains, is this just an error? Was this just simply a news reporter error to be given the wrong name? Or is there more to this? Is there indeed someone in the background? Was there an earlier arrest in the case, and did that lead to finger pointing to somebody else? Why did this name just happen to crop up out of the blue with no real reasoning for it? Why did this name and this person get connected to this crime? Could it have just been a stitch up? Was friends just trying to stitch him up and reported him? Who knows? But again, why would somebody do that? I'd like to know where this came from, whether there is indeed a connection whatsoever, or it's just another nothing burger. But let me know down below what you think. And if you are someone who is a lot smarter than me, then let's be having it. Teach me a thing or two about how to find stuff online, and yeah, we'll get there. Anyway, you take care, look after yourselves. I will catch you all in video 2 later on today. But this one is all about Robert Kinnison. Is he indeed connected to the Idaho 4Ks whatsoever in any way, shape or form? Or is this just, like I say, a nothing burger? I'll catch you all in the next one.